My girlfriend, 24 female, expects me, 27 male, to apologize to her family when I did nothing wrong? I've been with my girlfriend for around 2.5 years. I get on well with her family and they all meet up at least twice a year to go for a meal and a drink and catch up. It's all casual and I quite enjoy going. We had one of the catch-ups last weekend and things were going well, and then her uncle asked what I'd been up to when I mentioned I took a few days annual leave. I told him I spent a lot of it just relaxing since I had just finished 2 exams through work. He asked how I like to relax and I told him I enjoy reading, watching TV, playing video games and going for walks. He asked what I read and said I enjoyed comic books and mysteries. He said my hobbies were quite childish and that he thought I'd be doing something more mature. I asked what exactly was wrong with the hobbies I had and he just repeated they were childish and that I should grow up and do more adult things as video games and comics are for children. I asked again what exactly was wrong with doing things I enjoy and he just said I could spend my time more productively. I just told him that he should try being less judgmental and that people are allowed to do whatever hobbies they enjoy and that it's insane to think that being an adult means just stopping things you enjoy doing. He just said again I was childish and then went and told my girlfriend and her parents that I was being rude to him and that he wanted an apology. My girlfriend asked what happened and I told her. She said maybe I should just apologize, but I refused. He came over and asked for an apology, but I just pointed out the irony of him calling me childish when he's the one running to other people when someone doesn't agree with him. My girlfriend said I shouldn't have said that and should have just apologies instead. How would you handle this? Too long did not read. My girlfriend uncle judged my choice of hobbies and accused me of being rude when I told him to be less judgmental. He told my girlfriend he expected an apology, but I refused. My girlfriend said I should just apologize to him. He tattled? Lul. Do not apologize. Talk about playing the victim, uncle. Don't do it. Do not apologize, you were right. Stand your ground. Law. He sounds like a toddler, and a very rude one at that. He owes you the apology. I imagine most of the family already knows he's an AH. Stand your ground. You didn't do anything wrong. I'm guessing he wasn't used to people talking back and felt like he was always in the right. Him crying to your GF's parents really shows what character he has when things don't go his way. Stand your ground and don't apologize. He in fact disrespected you, and in retrospect, he should apologize. Also, ask yourself if this is a family you want to be related to, because such situations will definitely come again and you will be expected to always apologize cause your girlfriend seems to support such behavior. I would die on this hill. Babe, be serious, I will not be apologizing. Not today. Not if you bribe or threaten me, never. If your uncle cannot handle an adult conversation, he's the childish one. How do I, F29, get through to my husband, M39? I've had enough. I genuinely believe my husband gets an itch to argue. Instances. We have different choice in furniture. No big deal, as I am happy to go along with his style. But he can't just leave it. Has to tell me how his choice is better and mine is tacky. It went on for over an hour. I don't get why. Another time, without telling me, he set up a limited company. The company was dormant, but you still have to file documents to the relevant bodies. When I found out, I did remind him he needed to file paperwork. He would say, I know. Stop telling me. So I left it. Later on, the company ended up with fines as he never did the filing. He blamed me for it because I should have continued to remind him. Why is the onus on me? Chores. That's another battle. I work more hours yet get lumbered with most chores. So one time, I took a back seat. I just did the minimal, such as only cleaning up after myself. Maybe it was immature on my behalf, I don't know. Anyway, he started to shout at me and called me lazy and that I am a tramp for letting the place get messy. I mean, he didn't even see the irony. In arguments, I understand emotions are high. Sometimes you will say things you don't mean. So if my husband is frustrated, I don't tend to take it personal. However, I've always believed certain lines shouldn't get crossed and believe the topic at hand should be discussed only. At the start it was okay. There was still a level of respect maintained during disagreements. However, over time he began to swear. Then swear at me. Then label me names such as dirty SLT and make up lies. I wasn't going to stoop to that level, so I would just walk away. Initially he would apologize after, and I'd forgive him. But over time he stopped apologizing. He also would laugh when I would cry and shut the door and go listen to music and leave me. One time he said to me it's a wife's job to appease the husband as women are more nurturing. I replied, so why is the onus on me, again? What if you were in the wrong? He couldn't see my point. To save further conflict, I just agreed. For a while I kept doing that. Being the first one to apologize, even when it's not my fault, or calm him down. But internally, I felt I was losing my self-respect. Yes, it did end conflict, but I began to feel lost and like a puppet. Now recently he tried his best to provoke me. I remained calm. I didn't even have to try, as I really cannot be bothered. When he wasn't getting me to engage, he left home for a few days. Again, I didn't call or message. Just enjoyed my peace. He's returned now and is giving me the silent treatment and sleeping in a different room. Again, I am not bothered. However, my mother is saying she understands I am not wrong, but I still should make it up to him for the sake of our marriage. I refuse to do it as I feel I am enabling his behavior and it's only going to get worse. But I'll keep an open mind that maybe I am missing something and need to make up, hence why I'm asking your views. I have really had enough, and yet it appears my husband still wants to play these games. Ideally, I would like for him to see his wrongdoings, but I doubt it. What's best way to handle this? TLDR, husband loves to argue. I've had enough. How to get through to him? You can't. He's comfortable and probably unwilling to change. You either leave him or put up with it. He's an inconsiderate, emotionally immature asshole, and that's putting it nicely. You threaten him with a divorce if he doesn't seek solo and marriage counseling. Do not spend the rest of your life with someone like this. Nobody deserves to be treated like a doormat. Divorce him. That might get the message through. Does he add positivity to your life? The only way this will end is if you leave so that he can no longer treat you like garbage. He's not under the impression that you enjoy being treated like garbage. There's nothing for you to communicate that you haven't already communicated. He doesn't care how you feel about it. You're still there, so he'll continue to treat you like garbage. Stop being there. Then label B names such as dirty SLT and make up lies. I wasn't going to stoop to that level, so I would just walk away. Initially he would apologize after, and I'd forgive him. Nope, nope, nope. No forgiving that sort of name-calling. Pack your bags and leave. No forgiving. How to get through to him? You can't and you won't. Find somewhere else to live, pack your stuff, move out, your lawyers serve him divorce papers. Sorry you've experienced this. Don't be the froggy in the pot of water getting hotter and hotter anymore. Wake up and jump out. Sad face. There is no marriage, you're living with a man who sees you as his slave to use and abuse. There's no love in this relationship from him. You don't say you have kids, so divorce should be easy. I don't usually talk divorce, but in this situation, everything is your fault, so he would never agree to couples therapy. You need to get out and go into therapy yourself to figure out how to avoid people like this in the future. Boyfriend stole a lot of money from me. How do we recover from this? 22F and 23M. I'm in a horrible situation at the moment. I'm devastated. My super long-term partner of 7 years and I pretty much share finances for petty stuff, but we agreed he would hold my savings for me as his bank has a better interest rate. So he had around 4,500 of my savings in a separate account. But for this bank, I don't have the app, so I didn't check on it, just trusted him and kept getting the majority of my checks deposited there. Today I had an intuitive feeling and asked to see how much was in it. 1,400. Without my knowledge, he was taking thousands out of this for his own part of the rent because he had no money, along with various other things like games, food, etc. Keep in mind his family is pretty wealthy and mine is not. I had no idea, and now I only have 1,400 left, my only savings in the world. I'm so angry and don't know what to do. I freaked out and yelled at him and cried, but he was just silent and weird. He feels bad, but I would never do this to him or anyone, especially because he kept treating me to stuff with my own money. Some of which I would pay him back for, which is insane, so I was double paying for stuff. He is a perfect boyfriend in every other aspect, which makes this so strange. This is borderline evil to me and I work so hard, so I don't know how I would ever forgive him.
I get maybe he's embarrassed because he ran out of money, but he should have just asked. I would have given it to him.
That's the worst part. Sad face, I don't know who to talk to because our lives are so enmeshed. This is my advice.
You have to go ballistic.
You need to get your money back, ASAP.
You talk to his parents, you cry to his mother and tell her how betrayed you feel.
This is to mount pressure on him and his parents so they conjure the money and pay you back. As soon as they pay you, you leave his ass. This has to take you less than 24 hours if you are good.
Fuck that guy.
You don't recover from that. He's not the perfect boyfriend in every other aspect because he's clearly lying to you regularly, he's cheap, and he lacks control. He is not the perfect boyfriend in every other aspect. Saying your boyfriend is perfect aside from stealing $4K of your money is like saying, this apartment is located on a nuclear waste disposal site and the ground is literally poison, but it's perfect in every other aspect.
He's shown he's capable of grossly betraying your trust when it comes to money. Since you said he has none of his own, I'd also check your credit and possibly freeze it to make sure he's not taking out cards or loans in your name or has stolen your identity.
Get your own savings account at a completely different bank and start depositing all your money there.
He gets nothing. You probably won't be able to get your lost money back, but you can at least prevent him from stealing more. Oh, and leave him ASAP.
Just take every dollar you have and give it to him to spend on cheeseburgers. Then get a second job so that you can pay to support him and live a miserable life forever. That is how you recover from this. If you want to get your head out of your ass for a second, you break up this instant and go and stay with a friend or family until you can get on your feet. And please understand that what you wrote about giving him your money to hold is insane.
Actually, it is just implausible. If his bank had a better interest rate, you would simply have opened your own account there. So what are you omitting from this story? Or is it pure fiction? Don't ever give your money to someone's account again, please.
He is a thief with little remorse.
Tell his freaking parents, get your money back and send him down the road. He is a creep and is disrespectful of you. Sorry.
How do I, 27F, tell my husband, 32M, that I need to go on a trip alone?
Hi all.
My husband and I have been having a lot of marital issues recently regarding emotional labor, domestic labor, our futures, etc.
I have an annual trip I take to visit family and it's basically in the middle of nowhere. No phone service, no plumbing, no electricity. I camp at a campsite nearby.
This year, with all the problems that we've been having, I feel like going on this trip alone would really help me calm my nervous system down and have time and space to think without the constant interruptions of cell phones, TVs, and biggest of all, taking care of my husband. One of our biggest problems is that I feel like I am having to constantly take care of him. Not just at home, but in previous years with this trip specifically, I am in charge of everything.
I have to make a menu of what we'll eat every day, shop for the food, pack all the supplies we need, drive us up there, set everything up, and then constantly be asked to do something, or help with something, or go to the store, 30 minutes away, to pick something up. Break everything down, clean up, drive us back, unpack everything. Then you get the point.
Anyway, I understand that I could tell him I wasn't going to do all those things this year, and he'd halfway comply, but that's not the problem. The problem is that I don't want him to come. Period. Last year he complained that I spent too much time with my family and left him alone, even though he refused to leave the campsite basically the whole trip.
This year, I just want to take care of myself. I want to eat when I want to eat. I want to wake up when I'm ready. I want to not worry about anyone else but myself and my dog. I want to not speak to anyone for hours on end if that's what I feel like I need. I have absolutely no clue how to tell him this without hurting his feelings. Through all this turmoil, he's grown extremely needy, not the best term, but you get it.
He wants to be around me at all times. He wants us to be in the same room all the time.
He wants to be laying basically on top of me anytime we watch TV or go to sleep.
So I know this isn't going to be easy on him.
But I just need some space. I need to not worry about taking care of anyone else for a single thing, excluding the dog.
How do I broach such a delicate subject?
I feel like he's going to take it very personally and feel rejected, hurt, which is not my intent. Any advice would be really appreciated. Too long did not read. After a lot of martial stress and fighting, I need to take a vacation that my husband's gone on with me in the past, but I don't want him to go this year.
How do I approach the conversation without making him feel bad, hurting his feelings? I don't know how you'll tell him without hurting his feelings, but the guy has basically turned you into his emotional support animal, and that can't continue for your mental health.
I think there's a larger issue than a camping trip.
You don't sound very compatible and he sounds like a child. Can't live your life like that.
You only get one shot at it. Good luck.
I don't know how to help you, but I am watching this space for answers to my own problem.
No lie. I just took the day off from work, rented a hotel for a single day use, and spent today napping, watching my shows, and reading because I had a massive overload of dealing with my husband over the holiday weekend.
If he ever finds out about this, he would be broken-hearted, but the man will not give me a moment to myself.
I used to be able to hold out until he went on work trips, but he's doing that less and less because he no longer likes to travel.
Reading stuff like this is always so interesting because here you are fretting about his feelings when he doesn't give a damn about yours.
I want my vacation to be a vacation, and in order for that to happen it's best I go alone, so that is what I will do. No argument. No buts.
Just tell him what you're doing and let him pout like the child he is.
I've decided I'm going to take this trip solo this year. No anger, no justification. If he asks why, explain you need a break and alone time. His feelings might be hurt, but you should be able to be honest with your spouse, especially when things aren't going well.
Anyway you slice it, he's going to take it personally and his feelings are going to be hurt, because it is personal.
But you just have to sit him down and tell him exactly what you said in your post.
Tell him you love him, but you also love you and need to take some time to yourself.